All right, everybody, we got some major updates today on the foundation. Foundation is fully dug. We just need to compact it where the footing heads over the trench there. And then we've got a little skid steer rented, and we're starting to work on getting this leveled out, and then we're gonna compact it a little bit later. And it's gonna actually look like maybe one day there'll be a house here, and it's not just a big giant mud puddle. But yeah, it's looking really good. We're gonna get the compactor out of the hole. We're gonna start compacting this, and then we're gonna get that compacted. We're gonna get that leveled out, and we're gonna pull that up so we can put that drain pipe in. It's looking really good though. All right, everybody, it's been a few days since our last kind of big update, but here's where we're at. The trench has been buried. We've compacted where the lines are coming in. It looks wet, but this stuff right here, it was wet when we compacted it, and now this stuff is like concrete. I mean, that stuff is serious, and the foundation's looking really good. This is really, really hard. So see, even right here, it looks wet, but this is like, it is like concrete. So anyway, what we're doing now is we're gonna bury the pipe for the septic. So we're gonna come back later and do the septic, but we gotta get the pipe buried now before the concrete guys come in, because it's gotta go under the footer. So here's one of our corners, and here's one of our corners. So we are gonna have a footer that goes all the way across right there. So we need to make sure that that pipe gets under the footer, and then we wanna be not centered on the foundation, but centered between the center mark and the corner, because you can kind of see where the pink paint was, but that is gonna be our footer down the center of the house all the way, which it just barely misses those. So we wanna be kind of in between that and that. So we're gonna land somewhere around here. So I am gonna measure everything out, and we're gonna try to split the pipe in half, I think. So we're gonna have half inside and half outside, and then we're just gonna do a quarter bubble slope out that way, and then from there later we'll dig that up and we'll go 10 foot down to the septic. Well, the septic will be 10 foot deep, and then the line will go down there that way. So it should be a good positive slope to the septic. But yeah, so we're getting there. I think after today we'll be able to call up the concrete guy and say, hey, let's get a foundation going. So we're gonna get this knocked out and we'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, so all that layout told me that this right here is where we're gonna put the septic line, because that is gonna be our footer, that's gonna be our corner, and then that is 4 foot out from the corner, which the corners are the outside corners of the house. So the footer is, I believe, 12 inches. So we're gonna count that as a foot in. So we're only gonna go 4 foot in, and then it will be 5 foot out. Really, it'll be 5'5", but we're underneath that footer for a foot. So we're gonna get to our 4 foot mark, which is actually pretty close to where I put that rig. That rig was my guess, and I came pretty close. We just gotta move the rig over this way, but that is 4 foot in, so that's pretty good. Pretty good job. Anyway, so that tells us where we need the end of our pipe to be. It's gonna be right here-ish. So that's gonna be where the end of our pipe will be. Then we're gonna go full 10 foot, or yeah, full 10 foot that way from the end of the pipe. Break time over, we're gonna hit it right there. We're gonna dig 1 foot down and 10 foot out. I'm curious to see how hard this is gonna be, because we compacted the crap out of it. Look at the precision. Oh, well, not hard at all, I guess. All right, it was hard to record, I didn't have a helper, but basically all we did was we just dropped the pipe in there, made sure on the level we were a quarter bubble. I gave it a little bit more than a quarter bubble because we're gonna be burying and stuff. And then I painted the top of this stick. We threw it in there just to mark the end of the pipe where we know it is. so we know, we can dig straight down from that pipe, and then we'll have access to it later, or from that stick. Anyway, so now we're just burying. We're gonna compact. We're gonna leave this end open just so that the concrete guys can see where it is. They don't put a stake in the pipe, but that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It only took like 5 minutes. And yeah, we're gonna compact this real quick. We'll be done.
Concrete is being delivered for the foundation.
We're gonna get our footings poured today, and then hopefully the block poured on Friday. Today's Tuesday, so I'm hoping for Friday, because then if the footings get poured on Friday, then we have the weekend for it all to cure, plus Monday, and the lumber package gets delivered Tuesday, and then we can start framing, which I'm super excited for, because I feel like I can do it once I start framing. I feel like I can do stuff. Right now,
It's just waiting
We're
for
just
other
been-
people, and it feels weird.
we've just been waiting. So this is a very exciting step. And there it is, just like that. The footings are done with our one footing down the middle there for our joists to land on, and the delivery guy is here to deliver all the block for the courses of block. And then that should be getting done in a few days. All right, check it out. We have got a foundation. I was not here when they were laying the block. Actually, I didn't even really know they were doing it. They told me that they were gonna come out, but then it started raining, so I wasn't really sure. Oh, Kaylee's home. But anyway, we have a block foundation, and it's pretty awesome. It is pretty tall, so it's 6 courses of block, 8 inches each, so it's 48 inches, and then a 12-inch footer, so it's 60 inches, so it's 5 foot. So she will be able to stand up in the foundation.
That's so good.
We got the excavator fueled up, we got the excavator greased, which is a long process. So we're gonna finish putting up all that dirt there, we're gonna finish cleaning up all that dirt there, and then we're gonna move the dirt piles and prep to backfill after we do the insulation. What do you think?
It's like real now.
It's a house. It's gonna be a house.
It's gonna be a house.
You could live in there. We could just throw a roof on and live in there.
That's all right.
It'd be bigger than the camper, twice the size.
We can keep working. There's still no toilet in this one.
You're gonna be able to stand up straight in there. Go down the ramp, get in there. Go stand next to the wall.
There's a ramp.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to stand up in the crawl space. Because it's gonna be another 12, like the joists are gonna be another 12 inches above your head.
Oh, that's so
I mean, in between the joists, you'll be able to stand up for sure. Yeah, they were 1 block short, so they're gonna come back and do that block when they do the concrete.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Okay, so working on some stuff today because tomorrow afternoon the concrete's getting poured into the foundation block, and then the following early evening we're going to be backfilling the foundation. So there's some things we have to do in between that time frame. So I'm getting all the prep done for that. So let me show you what I'm working on. So here we have Artec foam insulation board, which was on our trailer, but we don't need it anymore because it's like 60 degrees out now, or close to it. So basically we're cutting this into 12 by 16 squares. We're going to need 64 of them, and then that's going to go on the inside of the crawl space in between the joist and the rim board to add some insulation on the internal side of the crawl space so we don't lose a bunch of heat out the ground. And then here we have our Blueskin. This is Henry's Blueskin WP. It's just a waterproofing wrap that we're going to wrap around the around the foundation all the way around. That's going to go directly on the concrete block. And then after that gets wrapped, then we're going to add 2-inch rigid exterior foam. This is the Pink Panther stuff. The nice thing is because our block is 6 courses high, it's actually 40, it's like 47.5 inches, which means we can just take these and lay them on their side and run them along. So we don't have to do any cutting, any trimming. We can just lay them down and go. And depending on how much is sticking up, we might have to like sawzall off a little bit, but I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Anyway, so the way we're gonna stick that to the membrane is with this. I bought a foam gun and I bought this Great Stuff Pro Series construction adhesive for foam panels. So basically we're just gonna do a light bead with this and then stick it on there. I don't know, I've never like used this stuff. This is my first time, so it might be sticky on both sides. If it is, then that's awesome, it'll just help us. But I don't think it will be though. I think it'll just be sticky on the one side. So yeah, and then I also picked up, what else I pick up? I picked up, check this out. I picked up a water heater. We went with an electric 50-gallon water heater. We're gonna put that in the crawl space because we are gonna install it in the crawl space. Because we're 6 courses high, then, you know, that crawl space is gonna be with the footer 60 inches. So we're gonna put that down there. I need to pick up a pressure tank. Lowe's didn't have any pressure tanks, so I didn't pick that up. And then I've got a expansion tank. Basically, we're just gonna toss all this in the crawl space so that we can install it later and we don't have to lift this big, you know, almost 200-pound tank into the crawl space later. Shout out to my brother for that idea. Thank you. It's a good idea. Save me some work. Anyways, that's what I'm working on. So, cutting up some foam. Go a little further. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Shit. That sucks. But it is what it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, there's no way because I got to do 12 inches even. So, okay, we're gonna change the plans. We're gonna grab a handy dandy Milwaukee pen. We're at DeWalt House. But we're a Milwaukee pen, okay? These are good pens. I think if we just cut the first one, maybe the first couple, then we'll be all right. Voila, and there you have it. So that is 4 stacks of 16. Some of them are taller because we have some 2-inch pieces in there, and then most of it's 1.5 inches. But 4 stacks of 16, which is 64. So it should be enough. Should probably do the math again. 40 times 12. Yeah, I'm gonna do the math. I did the math, it's enough. So 40 times 12 is 480, divided by 16 is 30. So that's, it's a 40-foot run, divided by, or times 12, because it's 12 inches per foot, right? Everybody staying with me. 16 on center, right? So then 480 divided by 16 is 30. You plus 2, because you got 1 on each end. That's going to make another gap on each thing. 32 times 2 is 64. We got 2 sides. And then we have the 24-foot pieces for the long run on each side. So that's it. I prepped way too much foam and I have a ton left over, so I'll probably use that, I don't know, on an interior wall, maybe insulate the bathroom walls or something. And then I got these out here, and these are, I believe, 13 inches, so technically I should probably chop them down. That's just from what I remember from when we chopped them originally. Yeah, 13 inches. So technically they should only be like 11 3/4, so I really should chop them down. But we'll see. I might just do it with the Sawzall later when they're in. Might be easier that way. But those are going to go along the 24-foot side. But yeah, pretty cool. I got some extra foam and all that's prepped, ready to go. I need to figure out how to get all this off of me. Oh, and then okay, someone who works in the trades, explain this to me. Why does this saw not cut insulation? I mean, I get it, it's not made for that, like it's made for cutting wood, right? But like, it's a saw blade. I would think that, you know, this bad chicken, I would think that it would be able to cut some foam, but it just kept stopping, and then it wouldn't go. So, someone who works in the trades, tell me why. And that is why this is a how we're doing it channel, not a how-to channel. Okay, just finished up our ground rods. So we got our one straight from our pedestal hooked on, and then ground wire all the way over to the other one, and then I'm going to trim off that excess. So rotary hammer was definitely a great idea. Thank you, Ryan, for that idea. Shout out to him, and my dad also had the idea, so thanks guys. Now that's done, and we can move on. All right, well, I unfortunately did not get any video of the guys working over here. We forgot his trowel. But yeah, I didn't get any video. I'm trying to get down here in slippers. I put my slippers on for the night, and oh man, I shouldn't have. Anyway, so it is done. We got the anchor bolts set. The way they set them is pretty cool. I told them my joists are going to be 16 on center. So if we start from this edge and we go over 16 feet for my mud sill, then right here, it stops at 16. It'll stop. It'll start the next board and it'll go. So they put an anchor bolt there and there, which is really nice. And then of course, code, you got to have one every 12 inches on the corners. And then it starts from the back and comes forward. So that's pretty cool. And then I forgot about these anchor bolts here. So I went and bought all of the bearing plates. So these are going to have, the mud sill will go over them. And then there'll be a bearing, it's basically a big square washer. It's called a bearing plate. It'll go here, and then a nut will get drilled on. But I bought 60 nuts and bearing plates. And on this wall there's 55, but I forgot about those. So I'm gonna have to go to the store and buy them. I didn't want to buy them at the store because at the store, at like Lowe's or Home Depot, like big box stores, they're $1.82 a piece for just the square bearing plate. And the nuts are like 50 cents a piece. But if I buy them through my lumber package people, they're only 99 cents for the bearing plates and like 10 cents for the nuts. So it is what it is. It's only a few. No big deal. But big savings if you go with like a local big oh my god, I almost fell. Like a big, lumber yard. That's what I'm trying to say. If you go with a lumber yard. But that is it. That is where we're going to end this episode. So when we start the next episode, you're going to see us doing the waterproofing, the insulation, and probably most of the floor, maybe even the whole floor deck. But that is it. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.